Hello, everyone. This is Lorrie Hargis, and that is Angela. And today we're going to be talking to you guys about our menopause story. So, Angela, I'd like you to tell everyone out there about what happened to you during menopause.
Mm. I always love it, Lori, when we get together and talk about subjects like this. And I think the story is important. I think it's important for every woman to get her story out there. So, yeah, let's just start and share today. Um, I was about 38. I was running an Italian restaurant and pasta manufacturing operation. So that I was working, 12 hours a day, 6 days a week, and then catching up on the seventh day. I also had a farm. So when I wasn't making pasta, we were baling hay and taking care of animals and collecting eggs from the chickens in the morning. And needless to say, I was really stressed out. My periods were irregular. I had some mood swings, and I ended up being really depressed. And I had no reason to be depressed. And that's what was really frustrating to me. I had some achy joints, those kinds of things going on. I just noticed my skin was changing. And, you usually chuck that up to being older, right? But I'm like, I'm not even 40 yet. Okay. I'd always maintained a really healthy weight. I was a size 2 when I was 38, but I was burning out. And so I went to the doctor and they immediately sent me to a rheumatologist, and they decided that I had fibromyalgia and they were going to put me on all these medications. I'm like, okay, well, I guess I don't know what else I'm going to do. And so, and meanwhile, I'm drinking coffee every day. I'm eating pasta. I'm not doing healthy stuff, right? And I get on these medications and I feel worse. And then I'm really like, what am I going to do? Because I'm still angry. And then I'm having hot flashes because I think my liver is not processing things, or it's having to do too much work. So I had heard about essential oils, and I decided, what have I got to lose? You know? So I got some bergamot, and I don't know why I picked that one. It smelled citrusy. It made me feel a little happy, and I thought, well, that can't be bad for you. There's no warning labels on it that says, I can overdose on it or anything or have all these side effects that the other medication has. I'm going to try it. And I think I had been smelling that every day for about 2 weeks. And I noticed I didn't feel depressed. I wasn't even feeling as achy. And that was sort of my aha moment that started me into aromatherapy, into reflexology, into Reiki. And it's been my career path ever since. I still love pasta, but I only eat it once in a while. But, it taught me that we need to take a more natural approach to this phase of our lives because it's not the end of the world. And it's really not a diagnosis, it's just a shift in our biology that we have to work with and accept and thrive through. So, everyone's experience is different, and I'd love to hear your experience, Lori, because I think we have some parallels in our experiences.
Yes, well, it's interesting because mine started, my whole natural health experience started because of perimenopause, menopause, and it was my mother. She went to a reflexologist, and because she was not feeling good at all, starting to have hot flashes, she was in her middle 40s and she just didn't have energy. And she saw an article in the newspaper about a reflexologist. So she thought, like you, she thought, why not? So she goes to her and she gave her supplements because the reflexologist was an herbalist. and didn't know anything about essential oils, but she knew about herbs and flowers, flower essences. So my mother went to her, and my mother started feeling better. And she came home with a little chart, and she showed us the reflexology chart. My sister-in-law, and me, right? And I. And so, we all kind of pressed on each other's feet and stuff. And my dad made fun of my mom. Okay. He made fun of her, and she's kind of shy. He's more outward and she's more shy. So uh she went to her a few times, and then she stopped going. And then my dad saw that it really helped my mom. So for Mother's Day, he went and got her a gift certificate, and my sister and I and my sister-in-law all Mother's Day gift certificates to go back to this reflexologist. So my mother got better.
Mhm.
She started taking supplements, essential fatty acids like black currant and vitamin E and black cohosh and dong quai. Hers started off with plants and vitamins, and minerals. And so she got better. And so I was able to see how my mother uh, could get through menopause. And that really helped me because I had always been a person who always, like you were saying, burned both ends of the candle. And I needed to get help too, because I was having PMS problems. You know, I was angry before I started my period. I remember throwing a ketchup bottle, and then have to clean up ketchup over some silly, stupid thing, right? And so I then started taking herbs and things to support myself. And then at the same time, I learned about flower essences for emotional things, because I had a client who woke me up in the middle of the night saying, she was anxious
Mhm. Yeah.
due to the menopause, right? And so I decided, well, I've got to do something for people emotionally. So we started using flower essences with women who were going through perimenopause and menopause, and could see how that could help them. And then the third thing was essential oils, and how they were so balancing to the hormonal system and to the emotions. And really, they were balancing to the nervous system. And then the endocrine system just took over. And so I was in menopause in France, and I had a child late at 42, my third child. And so I remember driving, through this pass to take her to piano lessons. It's a mountainous road. And, my hands were sweating, and using, lavender, and then a rescue remedy, the flowers. And it just helped me so much get through those kinds of things. And I think that women can be really helped by all these different natural things. We don't have to use synthetic hormones and all these different things to get through it. Because, as you were saying, in traditional Chinese medicine, this is our seventh cycle in life. It's a transition, and we can get through it. It's not something that we have to fight. It's not something, we can navigate it. And I felt like I got through it easier than my mother did, because I had that, good uh um well, it was almost 20 years
Mhm.
of good health. And I think that women can start looking at this, in perimenopause, before they get into menopause. So, and that's what we're really here to do, is to really let people know our stories and how natural things have helped us.
And, one of the things that I've noticed post-menopausally, because you go through these things and you think, okay, I haven't had a period for a year. I'm done. Now I'm postmenopausal. But it's like, it doesn't really end. You're still transforming.
Mhm.
And one of the things that I've noticed postmenopausally is that when I'm tending to myself, when I'm doing the things, whether that's keeping my liver clean or, focusing on my heart health, I have an incredible amount of creativity. So there are new things that come in to this season of life that maybe you didn't experience before. Like my creativity is over the top, whether I'm writing a book, whether I'm creating a program, whether I'm making ceramics, like it just oozes out of me. And I've never, I experienced that a little bit when I was maybe 10 or 12, right before puberty.
Mm.
And so now this is sort of like a reverse puberty that's offering me these gifts again, this creativity. And I'm so grateful that I've been able to get to the point to experience this.
Yeah, that's wonderful, Angela. And you're so right, because this can be a time for women to do something new in their life that they've never done before. A lot of people, their children are grown. And so this can be a whole new experience going through perimenopause and menopause. And like you said, you're not ministrating anymore, so all that energy that you were using for that, now can all these creative juices come up
Mhm.
and come down, the yin and the yang. So I think it's just something that's um such a wonder it's a wonderful journey. It truly is. And I can't wait to share more about why uh the inner circle is such an important thing in our next video.
Yay, I'm looking forward to our next video of the why.
Of the why. All right. See you guys later. Au
Thank you.
revoir. Bye bye.